Hey y'all, Jackye Mumphrey, the Real Estate Maven. Thanks for stopping by to catch this video. If you're here because of an email you were sent, thanks for clicking on the link and figuring out what's going on in this crazy market. If you are a subscriber, thanks for coming back to check out the video. So let's get into it because I got a lot of stuff I want to cover and I don't want to take too much of your time. Our market's doing pretty good. It's not as hot as it was early in the spring of this year. Houses are still moving pretty quickly. The demand is not there as much. I am seeing some price reductions for people who would like overly price their homes. Whereas we were seeing last summer and even up to the spring, houses going within 24 hours, like 21 hours, I think I clocked on a couple of listings, which they went from list to being under contract to now I'm starting to see around 7 days when the properties kind of go under contract, which is still a very short amount of time, but it was not like this early in the spring. So things have slowed down a little bit. It could be the seasonality with people going back to school because a lot of the summer buyers have already placed, where they're going to be because they had to get addresses to get their kids enrolled in school for the year. We're still seeing a lot of traction though with a lot of relocation, people coming from California, coming from Las Vegas, coming from Arizona, they're coming from Maryland, they're coming from New York. So we're still getting a lot of people coming into Atlanta. In fact, U-Haul basically said that there was 17,000 moves from LA County to Georgia, and not all specifically to the Atlanta area, but to Georgia. 17,000 a month for the last year, which is a lot of people coming into Atlanta, which is what's tightening up our housing market. We don't have enough inventory. Now the feds have set aside billions of dollars for tenants who are behind on their rent, and landlords who have had a hard time trying to collect rent from their tenants. A couple of websites I want to give you as a resource. One is the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. That's going to be in each of your counties. So, and most of the landlords are going to have to help their tenants fill out the paperwork because there's information about you and about the property that they'll want to connect with you on, so that they want to make sure that it is a real landlord and that that you can supply leases and you can say how long the person's been there. Basically vouch that it's indeed your property. And then in some cases you only have 7 days to respond. Otherwise they'll just kind of purge you out of the system, or they may not give the tenant the money, or they might give the tenant the money directly with no control over it coming to you, because they would like for the money to come to you directly. So as a landlord, you really want to get involved. So Emergency Rental Assistance Program is one, and then the other is the Home Investment Partnership Program. That one is there if you make less than $48,000 a year as a single person, or less than $70,000 a year for a household of 4. So there, if you put in Home Investment Partnership Program, you'll see all the rest of the guidelines that you have to apply for, so that you can try to get some help with the mortgage and help with the back rent. DeKalb County, I believe they're giving up to 60% of the back rent. So 60% is better than nothing. So if you've got multiple properties and you've got tenants not paying you, you got to go get your money. Now the downside to that as a homeowner, as a property owner, as a landlord, is that if you collect this money, you will not be able to evict these people during the covered period. And in some instances, some of these tenants are getting up to 18 months of coverage, which is covering the back rent starting from May of 2020, and then it will run another 18 months if they qualify, and the tenants have to qualify. And during that time, you cannot evict them. And then if they have like a smaller window of protection period, say it's only 90 days, you won't be able to evict them. So if you take that money, you can't evict them. That's very important to know. So keep that in mind. Let's see what else I have for you here. The IRS tax credit. If you have children, the IRS is giving $3,000 per child from age 6 to 17, and $3,600 for each child under the age of 6. You must make less than $75,000 as a single person, or $150,000 a year as a couple in order to get those funds. You can go to the IRS. You can put in IRS tax credit. Make sure you're getting your information from the IRS.gov website, not any other website, only the IRS website, so you can get the full specific details of what you need, so that you can make sure you can get that money allocated over to you, because it's out there, and it's for people who have children. So that's more money until you get some support. And as far as about the market, I don't believe we're going to have a housing boom. I think things are going to significantly slow down. And I've mentioned to a couple people, my opinion is it's going to feel like you're going 150 miles an hour down I-75, and all of a sudden you got to slow down and do 55, and it's going to feel like you're not going anywhere fast. It's just going to go back to our normal speed. In the market where it's a more balanced market between buyers and sellers. That's what I feel is going to happen toward the middle or the end of 2022. That's my prediction. So we don't really see a bubble happening. We'll just see a lot of slowdown in the market. A lot of people will, especially if interest rates do go up, which they're talking about interest rates going up next year and again in 2023 to kind of stave off some of this just the rise in cost, inflation essentially that we're having. I mean, you look at the price of goods and services, supplies, supply chains, labor, everything is up because COVID actually had the opposite effect of what everybody thought was going to happen in the retail markets and in the trades, lumber. It just the opposite happened. So you just kind of want to keep that in mind that things are going to slow down a little bit. Now is the best time to still sell. I believe the best time, absolute best time in the market was last August, so about a year ago, I believe, with my research of the market. But it's still a great market. We're still seeing increases of 25% in value in a lot of different areas of town. Not everywhere is equal, but for the most part, we're seeing some crazy prices. And this is not going to probably happen again in our lifetime. It's never happened before. It probably won't happen again. So as I say, get it while it's hot, to try it out to get as many funds as you can coming in, either from the government or tax credit or rental help. Even for those who have small businesses, if you haven't applied for an SBA loan, now's the time to do it. The interest rates are really, really low for you to kind of get a leg up into whatever else this world's going to carry us into next. Also, too, inventory is very low. Inventory is so low, it's almost as if it's like a housing crisis unto itself because we just don't have enough houses for the amount of people who want houses. And so, which is why you're seeing a lot of people doing house hacking, where they'll buy a house, a duplex, triplex, and they rent out rooms because there's so much more money to be made off of renting rooms than just holding the property. So you buy the property, you put your down payment, so you got a little bit of equity there. Then you're building equity over time for holding the property. And then if you're renting out rooms, you're making money every month. Not like an Airbnb per se, but just renting rooms. I'm noticing there's parents, and I've had a few come to me where I've sold them duplexes where their child stayed in one of the rooms and then their child was a manager of the other three units, and basically that paid the note. That gave the child money to pay for the utilities, spending money, groceries, trash service, things like that, while they're here at one of the universities going to school. And the plan is in 4 years to sell that multifamily, pay off any student loans that the child might have, or gift the property to the child if they graduate on time. So, I've got 2 people that are doing that right now. So it's a great plan. I don't see why people won't do it. It's a good plan, even if you don't have children, to try to pick up investment properties right now because they're very much in demand. If you plan on staying in your home and you don't want to move, you don't have any interest in it, start looking at refinancing while the interest rates are still low before they start propping these back up next year and into 2023. So if your mortgage is higher than 4%, then you need to refinance. Contact your lender to start there, and if you need any resources for lenders, I can send you those. If you're turning 62, make sure you're filing for senior exemption on your taxes. If you're a disabled vet, you also can get a discount on your taxes. And also come the spring when the new tax bills or when your tax assessment comes out, you need to challenge your value so that it helps to reduce your tax liability in a legal way for property taxes. So property tax deductions you're looking for is if you're over the age of 62, and it's going to depend on your county because some counties it's 65 or 67, but mainly throughout the state of Georgia, 62, a vet, disabled vet. Also apply for your homestead exemption and also contest or appeal your property value because as values are going up in the Atlanta metro, your taxes are going to go up. Prep now for winter. Winter is coming. Make sure you're getting your batteries, your extra sleeping bags, blankets. Start winterizing your house. Get extra canned foods, water, tissue, things like that, because if we do get another shutdown here in the market or in the world, you want to make sure that you're well stocked. There's talk about maybe doing that in September. I've heard whispers of maybe going into another shutdown. So you guys want to make sure you're prepped for that and ready to go. And you make sure, look into getting generators, because if something pops off and you're stuck at home and we can't go out and we have a very big weather event, which we typically have one every winter, and you're without power, you want to make sure you have your supplies. Take a look around your house. Hire contractors now while the weather is still good to fix the roof, fix the leak that you might have, fix your gutters, paint the house, trim, things like that. Start prepping for that now. And then if you're going to go refinance, that makes perfect sense, because the appraiser that's going to come out is going to see that the house has been well taken care of, which is going to continue to give you your savings there. So overall, the market is doing good. As far as foreclosures, I'm going to have a link down below in the description box of where you can go and get a free list of foreclosures right now in the market. These are not very well advertised. You will not find these on Zillow. You will not find these on the MLS or with other agents. I spent hours and hours and hours on finding the best direct websites from the entities that are holding these bank-owned properties and foreclosures on their data books. I've got links for VA. I've got links for Fannie and Freddie, which a lot of people can find those. But I have links that you won't ordinarily find, like DEA owned properties, IRS tax seized properties, things like that, state foreclosures, tax liens. I have a video on tax liens. I'll link that below as well, on how to buy a property using through this tax lien and the process that takes. I went and I've done that process myself personally, and so I'm sharing my experience with you guys on that video, so look out for that. So anyway, that's all I've got for you. Didn't want to take too much of your time. Thanks so much for watching. If I can help you at all, let me know. Whether if you have another agent or not, you're trying to buy or not. If you just have a question about the market or a curiosity or something going on in your neighborhood and you just want a realtor's perspective, feel free to reach out to me. I've got my number up above in the banner, and just feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. I'm here to help you when you're ready. Thanks for watching.